how to do this, I'll be going around and checking anyway. So don't stress out so much. So the other part that you have to do is you're just gonna be marking things. So for example, we leave some about 4 inches to the top to make sure that we have the neckline. And we're just gonna be marking where my apex is at and where my hip might be a little on the short side, and that's okay, but where my waist is at too. That's your snatches. Now, we're gonna start the lapel. So everyone knows that when you have buttons in the front, it overlaps. Everyone knows that, correct? So, anyone who has made buttons right now also understands, and in general, in other words, your buttons are on the center front. Does that make sense so far? Mm-hmm. Okay. So if your buttons are in the center front, that means you can not only go 1 inch from the edge. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Okay. That also means that depending on the button size, you need different spacing. Correct? Yes, yes, yes. It will make more sense once we start making these things. So why do I say this? Our usual from center front is only 1 inch, correct? Yeah. Not this time around. This time around, I will say for a single, not a double. Does that make sense? Double-breasted and single-breasted. Mm-hmm. Everyone's familiar with those terms?
Yeah.
Everyone? Yes, yes. Yeah. So single-breasted is only 1 row of buttons. Double-breasted is at least 2 rows of buttons. Exactly. Today we're only gonna do single-breasted, okay? If you wanna do double-breasted, that's on you. You do you. I'm not gonna worry about it. If you do double-breasted, you need more width, okay? This is not gonna be enough. The muslin that we just got won't be enough. But that's why it's only single-breasted. So right now, for my purpose, I'm gonna go 2.5 inches. And that's why we added 9 inches to the hip. Now you understand why we added so much more in the front and the back? That's why. So why 2.5 inches? Because not only do I need to place my buttons, I also need seam allowance. That's why. Now, if I have bigger buttons, like 1.25 inches, it will be even more space. So it all depends on your buttons, guys. Right now, I'm just thinking very basic buttons, 3/4 inch to a 1 inch. Very, very basic. I am not thinking about, oh, it broke. I am not thinking about maybe I cannot, we'll see how we go here about things. I will also do a shawl color as well, but not for you to replicate. It's just for you to see. Now, everyone saw me marking the apex, correct? So what we're just gonna do is, wherever I mark the apex, I'm gonna square a line with my center front. Because I decided that's my center front now. Now that line is only to show us where the apex is at, it's not where the apex will be placed. And a lot of it has to do because we already moved the apex, if you think about it. Okay? Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna take our pins, and I'm gonna go step by step with this so you guys don't understand. Make sure you have a shoulder pad. If you don't have a shoulder pad, just get some muslin and fold it over so you get some height in your shoulder. Okay? So I am just gonna match my center front line now, and you can see there's an extension. I need that extension, and it will all make sense once I start draping. Once I start draping everything else, okay? And I do this. Hmm? Excuse me? Yeah, so then we go and we make sure that that's really nicely done. Always spin your apex now. That's the apex line. Remember, it's always a gap. The same principles that we have done in the past are gonna stay the same. Making a jacket for your final is not a requirement. So the whole lesson for today is for you guys to know how it is done. Now, it's not necessary, I don't want you to fret or get nervous. This is supposed to be a lesson that you just learn techniques. That's why there's no homework. So try to finish it in class today, okay? As discussed, I'll be sending a link of the pants for you to either come in early and start drafting it. Not making it, just draft it. And it's easier if you make it for yourself, so you at least know what you're looking for. Okay, so same thing. You notice how beautiful this looks, line. Okay, perfect. So then what we're gonna do is the same principle that we always do is we do the neckline first. We cut away. We make sure it's pinned correctly though. For some reason it's like flapping away. And we pin it and we start slashing. Slash, slash. Flat and beautiful. You notice how my shoulder is taking shape too. Correct? Okay. Now, you can do more than 2.5 if you want to. You can do 4. Apart from that, you know why? Because have you noticed lapels also go, they go and fold it over. They need that space too. That's where we're gonna be taking it from. But you'll see now how, okay? This is a basic lapel, guys. It's not gonna be Alexander McQueen level today. We don't have the strength. Okay, so then you see what I'm gonna do here. Our apex line is gonna be straight. It's a basic bodice, basically, guys. It's just a basic bodice with a dart and the princess seam. We all have done it. But our dart is not only gonna be on the top of the bodice, it's gonna be also on the bottom of the bodice. It's gonna be a long dart. Everyone has a jacket here. They notice they only have one dart here. Only at the top. It's very long. So we're creating shape. And we're gonna do here, right here. And remember, since it's a jacket, it's okay to have ease. It doesn't have to be super, super duper fitted. Okay? My line's a little crooked. We need to fix this. Maybe not. Maybe I do want like if you really want to have more shape. So my girl is a size 14. She most likely also needs a bust dart because she has a lot more bust. For anyone who has a small size, you most likely don't need a dart. Like, ta-da. Okay? For my purposes, yeah, I do need a dart. Because now you can see what a difference this is. Dart and no dart. You see my grain? It's going to, I want this to be very, very, it's just a basic. And remember, usually your bust starts about 2 inches to 3 inches from underarm. Why? Because if you do it too high, it's just not gonna be flattering. It's gonna go against the apex. Okay? Okay. So then we go here to the side. And we bring it over here to whatever leftover is to the princess seam. Okay. And you see this puckering? Just slash it. Slash, slash, slash. You can even slash it a little bit. That's it. You can slash even more if you want to. So remember, if you want your lapel to be like a very good 70s lapel, you can have a bigger extension. That's okay. Okay? I say exactly. So you might have to trim this again, but you need more fabric on the front. Okay. So now we have most of our, make sure that everything's pinned correctly. There's no puckering. So we have this, you notice that it's going, it's not only in the, from the apex all the way to the bottom. And then we can draft this later. So we pin, 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 pin. And you're like, well, is that it? No, that's not it. This is when we decide where we want our lapel break. Does everyone, like, so basically means, do you want your lapel to break in underneath your apex, on your waist? Anything below the waist is really hard to control. It's gonna gape. And I think everyone has seen somebody wear a blazer and it gapes really badly. It's because they don't have control on the lapel. That's why. So for my purposes, I'm just gonna go a little bit modest, but not really. I'm gonna go right here, like about 2 inches, no, 6 inches, I think. You can even go a little higher if you wanna go. You can even go higher, more like reminiscent of the 1940s. The lower you go, you can play with this part. I'm gonna put a pin right here. That's where I want it to go. I take my pins out. And you see that? It's getting shape now. I'm gonna slash to that pin. You see the difference now? Mm-hmm. Let's stay there. We'll stop here, okay? I know, it looked like nothing and then done. So we're good.